Hey guys, welcome back to Bait and Tackle, and today I've got a pretty good episode for you. We are going to talk about something I've kind of wanted to get into this a while back. So like you know how I've been toying with different fluid beds, and you know, a lot of different people make them. You know, you can make them yourself. I made them myself. I made, you know, some out of PVC pipe from, you know, Lowe's or Home Depot. I've also gone as far as getting a 3D printed version of fluid beds, which actually worked out pretty well. I had to scale my discs down, my filter media down just a little bit. The ones I used to get from TJ's Tackle, which is now something else. I can't remember what it's called, like Lure Magic or something like that. I can't remember. But I will link that stuff below. But today I wanted to kind of touch base on one. I linked up with a gentleman, and I've known him for a long time, and I've been working with him since he started. And his name is Norris, and it's NGraves Bait Molds, and I think it's just NGraves.com. So you probably want to check these things out. I figured this would be kind of a cool like combo video. We're going to feature his 3D printed fluid beds into this video, and he uses the TJ Tackle's filter media. So you get that when you get these awesome 3D printed fluid beds. So I'm going to show you two versions. He sent me these. These are the individual versions. Okay. So it's got a nice little flat base. You got your little valve right here for the air. Okay. And these are form fitted in there. So you don't need to glue if you don't want to. I may, just because I'm a stickler about making sure that everything is sealed properly. But I think I'm going to run it as is right now. But we're not going to do this one. I'm going to show you a different one he sent me. But I wanted to kind of break this down and just show it to you so you guys could see it. And what these do is they twist off. So the actual cup twists off. Okay, so there's your base. There's your valve stem sticking through the hole there, and then here is your base of your cup, and there's the filter media from TJ's Tackle or Magic Tackle or whatever it's called. So these are form fitted in there. I'm going to push it with my finger. These are form fitted to fit these perfectly. So all you got to do is push them in. Now I'm not sure if he trims his down or if they come just like that. I think I've got some here. We could probably. Let me go get one, and I'll just make sure it's the right size. Okay, so I bought a bag of these a while back, a long time ago. These are the 2-inch versions, and it is exactly the same size. So you could buy more filter media from TJ's Tackle or Magic Tackle, and they form fit right into the... Oh yeah, perfect. They form fit right into the cup. So that's what you want right there. Okay, so... Awesome. So you can buy the filter media if you wanted to, and you can buy these from NGraves and do that. Now they come with a screw-on lid, which I think is a lot nicer than the ones I had or just push on. Okay. So I'm very excited to try these. So again, you know, you get the screw-on lid, and then you also got the cup that screws into the base to give you a nice tight seal. Okay. So that's it right there. That's the single version of the fluid bed that he sells. He also sells, and he sent me red, white, and blue for July 4th for Independence Day. So I thought that was really kind of cool. I figured, you know, I'd try to make that happen, but I didn't have enough time to make that happen. So hopefully I can make that happen pretty soon. But I wanted to show you this. This is the one that's really special. Okay, guys, check this out. It is a 3-stage fluid bed with a valve piece here that you tap your air supply onto, and then you have valves for each one of the cups that you want, right? So same idea as what he had the other one. Here's a little bucket for tools. There's a little tray here for stuff. You can put tools down if you want to, but it's kind of a nice little channel way for those air tubes, right? So you can run 3 cups at a time with this and bubble that much if your air supply is big enough. I don't know what he recommends, but I would say I've got a pretty good size aquarium pump for this. So, but again, same idea. These screw off, same thing, so you could swap them out as needed. And same thing with the filter material. Okay, same thing. You pop it right out if you want to and put it right back in. And again, the ones from TJ's Tackle or Magic Tackle fit right in. I'm pretty sure this is the 2-inch version. Yep, this is the 2-inch version. I just measured it just to make sure. So check these things out. Really cool. I've got a couple of baits to run right now. So we are going to fill up 2 out of the 3 of these cavities. I'm going to run just 2 right now and we'll try it. And then maybe we'll do another video later on. But I'm going to continue on with my B8N Grass Jig that I've made. So, and with the help of my buddy Anthony at Lazy Baits Co. So we are going to go down that road, and I've got a couple of them already pre-poured. I've also got some mud flippers pre-poured. We're going to go ahead and dip them into these colors that I choose. And today I'm going to use Magic Craw, and I'm going to also use a Barlow's motor oil. I want to see how this does in a fluid bed. So pretty cool. So we got the Barlow's motor oil, and I've got the Pro Tech Magic Craw, which very, very good colors. Both of them are very good colors. I don't think they really need anything else. And if you notice, I got my new hat on, my new Barlow's tackle hat. I love this hat. It is comfortable. It's a snapback. I'm not a huge fan of snapbacks. I usually prefer my fitted hats, but it is a very comfortable hat. I like the colors, the orange, the gray, the black. It's just awesome. I love this hat. And guys, go check out Barlow's. If you need anything or get anything from there, please use my code B8N Tackle, all one word, all capitalized if you want to. I will put that here, so then that way you guys can use that. It doesn't give you a discount, but it does help support the channel and helps me show you guys different products. So check that out. So let me get you down here to the bench, and we will start putting some of this colorant into this pigment colorant into these fluid beds and see what they look like. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my air hose off of my existing 3D printed fluid bed, which these are great little fluid beds if you want to do them yourself. But these ones from Norris are really nice. And I know how you guys like the fluid bed videos and like to find out where to get them. And he sells these at a pretty reasonable price. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head right now. Ordered a couple, and he helped me out. We talked about it and stuff like that. So I think we're really good to go here. But I'm going to hook my air hose up here on the front. And I just kind of want to turn this on to see if I can hear any leaks per se or anything like that. So, and I think what I'm going to do right now is I've got you guys closer to the camera. I'm going to use these 2 on the end. So I'm going to open these up real quick. See if I can hear. Yep, I can hear the air coming through. Can hear the air coming through, and if I shut the valve off, it's off. So fantastic. All right, so that works good. The question is once I get some colorant in there, how well is it going to bubble? And I will get you guys over top of these so you can see what they actually look like. And before we go anywhere, I just wanted to let you guys know a little sneak peek. I got together with Anthony again, and we did another size of the grass piece jig, the B8N Grass Jig. So this is now the 1/2-inch version. So I have a 1/2-inch version and a 3/8 version, which aren't too different in weight. I wanted something a little bit heavier, but I didn't want to go too heavy. So, all right, so let's get some color poured in here. Let's do the Magic Craw first. Okay, I'm going to shake this up first inside the container just to get it all loosened up because it's probably been sitting there kind of packed for a little bit. All right, so we're there. I'm going to go ahead and dump in. I'm not sure how much I'm going to need. I think I need a fair amount because when I dip these grass jigs in there, they're going to be a little bit unique. Okay, so it's bubbling pretty good. Let me show you guys that. Can you see that? I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's bubbling pretty decent. So I may give you an overhead shot of that, but right now I'm going to shut that one off. I'm going to pour in my next color. And the pump I have, I'm kind of curious to know And again, not all powder paints are created equal. So this may be a little bit interesting with this motor oil from Barlow's. It seems a little heavier. It seems a little bit heavier. It's a little bit heavier, and it probably is going to be a little bit messier than the other one. And I put a lot in there. I think it just dumped out on me was the problem. So I'm going to try to get like a little scooper, try to get some of that out of there, because I don't know how heavy that's going to be. I had to get a scooper from my plastic station, but I'm going to get some of this out of there because I got a funny feeling it's not going to be. Again, this is a very heavy pigment. I'm trying to make it as even like the other side over here. I'm going to take one more scoop out. We'll try that, see how that goes. But I haven't tried any of this Barlow's stuff in a fluid bed yet, so this is going to be kind of interesting. Oh, I can see it raising up. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm turning the air on, and every time I hit it, it seems like only air is coming out in certain spots. Sure did make a mess. I was going to say, when I add 2 colors in here, and I got 2 colors turned on, yeah, this chameleon stuff, I don't think it does well in a fluid bed. It's a very heavy, very, very heavy powder paint. So what we're going to do is, I may need to just get a different pump. Yeah, if I shut that other one off, it bubbles like crazy. So let me do this. I'm going to turn off that one and put the middle one on full, and you can start to see it bubble a little bit. See it? See it? But it's just coming out like a couple spots. So again, it's a very heavy paint. We will try it for sure. And I'm thinking that we'll probably try that one first, I guess. It's going to be a thicker paint, but let's just see how it goes. Okay, so I've got my heat gun prepped, and what we're going to do is I'm going to, and I can actually see that powder paint standing away from this thing coming out of there. So it's definitely putting air to it, but I just don't know how well these are going to come out. So, oh, that's what I wanted to get. I wanted to get my stand. I'm going to get my stand. Okay, so I've got my stand to put my baits on. I'm going to move this back a little bit so I've got my stand in front of me. I'm going to go ahead. And first, we're going to do a mud flipper and see how that goes. Now, normally what I do is I push these mud flippers down. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. It's making a mess. So it is bubbling. It's just not bubbling as much as I wanted it to. So for these mud flippers, I need to take and get the head down to the end here. That's just my standard practice of just like this. This is like a little lollipop, mud flipper lollipop. So what I do there is I get that down there like that, get it on my forceps, and then heat it up. And I'm going to stir this again for good measure. While I'm heating this thing up. So it is fluidizing. It's just, I don't think it's fluidizing as much as I would like it to. So we are going to get this thing heated up, and we're going to try it. And I don't want it super, super hot. So here we go. Okay. That actually came out really good. Okay. So that is the chameleon paint, the Nova Stone motor oil by Barlow's. See that color shift? Green to gold. Beautiful. Love it. All right, so that actually did come out pretty well. Let's see what happens when we do more than one. Do the same thing, same size. Okay, got it on my forceps. Gonna heat it up again. Now, one thing I've got to do prep work wise for the B8N Grass Jigs is I have to get tape on the wire form. So that'll take me a minute to get that going. Heat it up real good. Okay, good coverage. Actually came out pretty good. So, but again, this Nova Stone stuff, definitely a thicker paint. It's a chameleon paint. Definitely a thicker paint for doing the jigs and stuff. So, but so far so good. I'm actually pretty happy with how they've come out. I've got 2 more mud flippers to do in this color, and then I've got to do some grass piece jigs. So let me get these done, and let me get the other ones taped. Okay, so I just wanted to show you this, guys. So this we leave open. We're going to grab onto this. We are going to tape this section here so that I can dip it down in. And we're going to see how well this works, because I know the cup is down in there about like that. And I don't know if we're going to get full coverage or not. That's why I may have to add more. I'm definitely going to stir it up a few times. But I just wanted to show you how I do this. I take some of this blue painter's tape. Okay. And all I do is just go at an angle, cover the whole thing, and fold it back over on itself. That's it. Okay, so it's going to be a little funky the way it's taped, the way it sits, all that. But you want to just mat down all that tape around that wire form. Okay, and then what I like to do is just go back through with a pair of scissors. Okay, like these shears right here. And I like to just trim around as close to the wire form as I can, but I want to make sure it stays maintained, right? I want to make sure it stays in there. And really, that's probably all you need to do is just cut around the outside like that, okay? Just like that. Then that way when we dip, it's going to go down there, and that wire form is just going to be completely covered the way I want it to be. All right, so that's how we're going to do it right there. So let me just go ahead and make up a couple more of these. This is going to be a lot. There's a lot of powder paint in there. It's almost a full jar. So I'm going to go ahead and sift this around a little bit to get it nice and powdered, and I can see the air coming up from the bottom. And it is making a mess, but a very good mess. I'm okay with that. All right, so let's go ahead and heat this up again. And in this video, we probably won't make the jig skirts. This is more of a painting, just so you guys get to see how this paints. And I'm, really just showing off the fluid bed, really is what I'm doing. So I'm going to heat this up real good. It's a 3/8 ounce head. Make sure it's heated all the way around. And I think we're good to go there. So make sure that jig skirt holder is heated up too. Okay, so here we go. Second try. Yep. Lot of paint. I am going to probably have to touch up a couple spots, but it did get all the way down. I was really hoping the paint would kind of settle out, but I'm going to have to fix a couple little spots. Couple little spots there, a little spot in the back of the eye cavity there. Trying not to touch the jig, but it's almost dang near impossible. That looks like it fixed that better. Looks like the rest of it smoothed right out, so I don't know if it was just the heat that smoothed it out or what, but I think we're good there. Let me show you guys. But adding more powder to the fluid was definitely the way to go. See that shine, that green to gold. Oh man, motor oil is a great color. I do love it. And this Barlow's Chameleon Nova Stone stuff is incredible. It's super incredible. So all right, so we're gonna put that on the thing, and that concludes using motor oil in a fluid bed, which after using it, I would say you're probably just as okay using just the cup that it came in. That I'm going to leave that up to you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I'm going to cap it off so it's nice and tight. Blow away the excess Chameleon, blow away the excess motor oil that's all over the place now. And it may be smart to just keep one covered at a time, but if you're doing two things where you want to dip side to side, you may want to just, dip one, dip the other kind of thing, or, you know what I'm saying? You can turn two on and do that. Now, my pump seems to be a little bit maybe underpowered for what I'm doing. It did look like I could do two at a time, but a lot better doing one at a time, not two, and that's because I just don't have a big enough pump. Now, the one I've got is I'm gonna dig out the box because I still have it, so I can show you guys. It is a Polico, I think is how you pronounce that. Polico aquarium air pump. Okay, right there. Okay, PA series. This one is the PA 402, which has a 6.5 watt power. Pressure is 0.024 MPa. Probably need to up the pressure, maybe get a bigger size pump for the next one. But I also am running, I totally forgot about this, I'm also running my sprayer off of this as well. So I have that on a secondary connection because this pump actually has two connections on it. One's going to my fluid bed, one's going from here to the fluid beds, and then one's going over to the sprayer. Okay, so but the sprayer is off, it's not being used, so it's just putting air in the line, but it should be enough to do, I would think, 2 cups, which I think it is. I just think it's because of how heavy this powder paint is. It's a little bit more unique than the other stuff, than the regular fluid or regular powder paints, because regular powder paints aren't as thick, right? There are not all powder paints are created equal. I'm pretty sure you guys, I've told you that before, but like this Magic Raw, it's a lot lighter, a lot fluffier. This stuff is a lot heavier because of the changeable color in it, the colorant and that kind of thing. And I'm not sure about his clear coat in there. I'm sure he's got some clear in there, but like I said, it's a little bit different. You can tell just by looking at it in the plastic that it's a little bit heavier than than traditional powder paints. So we got that one done. Let's go ahead and get the Magic Craw fired up, which I'm going to need more of that in there for sure, because I just by not having enough in the last one, which is again almost a full jar, and I got to turn that down just a touch because there we go. It's trying to like bubble out of the dang container. See it? I don't know if you guys can see it every once in a while bubbling out, but okay, so I think we're good there. I'm going to start with the B8N Grass Jigs. So let's get that going. And I'm going to get you kind of a closer up view of the powder paint when I dip here. Then that way you guys can see this, what I'm seeing. Okay. Give you guys a nicer view here. Now, there is air going through there. You may not be seeing a lot of bubble, but I know it's bubbling. There it is. There's the bubble. I just didn't want it bubbling out. So I'm trying to, there's a lot of powder paint in there, and that's only because these grass jigs, they definitely need a lot of powder to sit in. So I'm just going to keep kind of shaking that so it's down, but it's trying to volcano out a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and heat up my first one. It's not bubbling as much as it was before. This one's going nuts. Okay, so we're going to roll with that. It's probably going to make a mess, but that's okay. I need it to be fluid enough to where I can get this all the way down in there and get a good coat on it. So I'm going to make sure I heat this up really good. It looks like it's bubbling to one side on the bubbler, if you guys can see that. But that's just the nature of the beast with this stuff, unfortunately. But I do like that filter material a lot better than using like paper bags and stuff like that. I trust it a lot better. I think it does a good job. So let's see here. We're getting pretty close. I'd say we're almost there. I just want to make sure all nooks and crannies get it. All right, so here we go. Okay. That did an almost perfect job. Let me get this closer to you guys. Covered everything perfectly. I may have been a little bit too hot on the jig head, but it covered it very well. Very well. There's a tiny spot there on the bottom of the skirt collar, but I'm not worried about that. That's okay. Like I said, you get sometimes it don't fill in the back of the eye cavity. See it? That's okay. There's an eyeball that's going to go in there. I'm not really too concerned about it. So I'm not going to mess with this one. We're going to put it right into one of the small stand-up jig holders. I'm just going to put it in one of these, another one of these. I got a couple of these small ones, and I got a couple of the big ones. So I'm just going to get that down in there, put one clip on here for now, and then I'll put the next one on. Okay. So let's go ahead and do the other one. It looks like our fluid is finally popping good. So let's try this one more time. This time I'm going to do it a little bit quicker. That was a little bit heavy of a coat, but it was fine. I don't see any issues with that. It's a pretty good sized jig head anyway. This time I'm going to heat this up a little bit shorter this time, not as much. And then we'll do our normal thing here. Okay, I think this is ready, so I'm going to go ahead and dip it. Okay, now that one actually came out even better. So lighter coat, lighter heat, and then you can see what the difference is. See that? See the design now? You can see the scale pattern. Okay, there might be a couple little holes there, but again, I'm not worried about it. You know, eye cavity always seems to be an issue painting, but again, not too worried about it. This is another changeable paint because it goes from that blue to that brown, you know what I mean, that brownish green. So not super worried about it. It's a little bit thicker of paint too, but not as thick as the motor oil. So awesome, awesome, awesome. And then we've got a couple mud flippers to paint in this color. Pretty excited about those. So we've got the grass jigs ready to go, that was pretty much part 2 of that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and finish up doing these awesome mud flippers in a blue craw pattern, or blue craw color. So we're just going to go ahead and dip those. Okay, so let's try this. Just heat it up real good, and we'll give it a quick dip. Probably about 15 seconds or less, 10 seconds. Just depends on what you want for coverage. You want a lot of paint, but it's going to bleed, unfortunately when you do that, it bleeds down a lot. So now you'll notice one thing, and I don't know if that's just because I didn't heat it up enough, but you see the little spots? See the spots of silver? Sometimes that happens. So I'm going to heat it up one more time. I'm going to just give it another quick dip, unless the heat spreads that out, which is possible. But it didn't. So I'm just going to give it another quick dip. Okay, and that filled in most of the spots. So, awesome. Blue craw, magic craw. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to take some of these mud flippers that I painted before here, and I'm just going to show you kind of what I do. I just need to break the paint a little bit on the tip of the metal that goes through, okay? And then all I got to do is pull this metal wire back through the bait and just verify, make sure that I got through and I got through okay. I can see the light through as long as you can see the light down through there, because there's a line through weight. Okay, so that's all you got to do. And then what you do to get these ready for paint is I have these little paper clips. So this took a little ingenuity trying to get these worked up right. And I just hang them on a paper clip, okay? And then I hang them on my old rack. And you just make sure they're not leaning against the other ones, that kind of thing, whatever have you. So same thing. So I just got to keep doing this. Okay. And then I just pull my wire out. Okay. Exactly what I wanted to do there. And then I just put it on this little hanger. And I've let these already cool down, so they're cool to the touch, so I can put them on here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not messing around with them being hot or anything like that. Let me get you zoomed down here so I can show you real quick what I'm talking about. See it? So I just put one small one on one side of the hanger, one big one on one side of the hanger. Then I do it like that. I just keep going down through. And that way I can hang them. I got a wire through the actual lead bait, right? There it goes. I just had to knock out the hole. I'll make sure that it's all the way through there. Sometimes they get clogged, but not very often. Again, same process, just breaking the paint off the very end of the wire that's sticking out, so then that way I can pull it through. Normally I do this in my process, I do it when it's still hot, then that way I can get the paint off clean, it doesn't break or crack or chip, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. But there you have it. So I've got those there. I'm going to go ahead and set these here, and probably set these in here just so I can set them all in the toaster oven. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to bake these at 350 for 20 minutes. And then we'll come back and I will show you guys what this wonderful goodness looks like. One thing I forgot to mention that's very critical, please take the tape off before you bake them. Otherwise, it's going to stink to high heaven and it could cause a fire. You do not want to do that. Okay, I'm not taking responsibility if somebody burns down their house because of something stupid like this. But I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that. So then that way it's like that. See it? Okay. So please make sure if you're going to do something like this, painting, spinner baits, whatever, just make sure you get the tape off. This taping is a great method. Keeps things clean. Keeps the metal nice, good shape. But you need to take the tape off before you put it in the toaster oven. I think I've done it before and it didn't it didn't catch on fire or nothing, didn't do anything like that, but it stunk so bad. I'm sure the adhesive on there is not good for you and it's not supposed to be like that. So that is the way it should be going into the toaster oven. Okay guys, here we go. This is very, very hot. That's why I put a glove down on my workbench, and I also am wearing that other glove to pick that up to get it over here. Safety first. You do not want to get burned by this. It's very hot. 350 degrees is no joke. Had a friend of mine actually get burned by some pretty nasty liquid plastic recently, and I don't like seeing that. I'm not a huge glove wearer, especially when I do soft plastics. I probably should. But the key there is glove up if you can, okay? And I know that Michael from Bait Chuckin' says it all the time, you know, glove up, glove up, glove up. I know a lot of other people say that too. I like to work with my hands. I don't like having gloves on. It's just a pet peeve of mine. But you really should wear gloves. So do yourself a favor. Always wear gloves when you're doing work, okay? Especially around this hot stuff, it definitely pays off. So we got everything back here. Everything looks good. I'm going to let this stuff cool down for about 10-15 minutes to let just everything, so that I'm not touching anything hot. You know, I don't want to do anything like that, do anything stupid and grab something and burn myself. I can't really afford to do that. The one thing I've noticed, the eye cavities in the grass jigs have filled in. So something I need to remember for next time is I don't need to worry about if there's little spots in there. The heat, when you bake it for 20 minutes, will fill in those gaps. And I think it does it on the mud flippers as well. I just didn't want to say that too early in the video. So if we flip this one around, I just want to make sure I'm just grabbing it by this wire form real quick. I just wanted to double check the eye cavities, and yes, the eye cavities did fill in. So it's not a problem at all. Even if you get a little bit of, you know, this is that heavier paint. It will move a little bit when it gets baked, so that was good. I don't see any drip marks that I can see. I really don't see it. It didn't really run. And if it did run, it just evenly coated everything. So I'm not really too upset about that. I think these came out absolutely incredible. We will do a third part to this video where I will make jig skirts for these grass piece jigs. So this is technically part 2 of the grass piece, the B8N Grass Jig. But I will also do one more putting on the hardware. This is kind of the painting portion, but I wanted to include the NGraves 3 fluid bed device, and also their single devices too. So I kind of wanted to do 2 things at once here. I wanted to show you guys these fluid beds, and they are incredible. I'm probably going to start using these more frequently. I'm actually going to probably order a whole bunch more cups from him because these cups are really, really good. I really do like them. Very good design on his part. He is a pretty good designer when it comes to that stuff. He's got some great molds too, guys. Go check out some of his. If you don't want to spend the money on a CNC mold, which is very, very expensive, he offers a lot of these high heat resin molds, which I'm going to show you an old one that I bought a while back. It's the sharpshooter mold. Okay, this is a sharpshooter worm, and it's a 4-cavity worm. So it's just, you know, you oil it up just a little bit, you lightly oil it, and then you just shoot it. And these take a lot longer to cool down than your traditional aluminum does, obviously because of the cooling. But for a everyday bait user, you know, if somebody's just shooting stuff in the garage for themselves, these are incredibly inexpensive compared to aluminum. You know, you're talking 50, 60 bucks for one of these, as opposed to, you know, 200 or more for a aluminum mold. It might be a little less than that, but it just depends on what you're getting. But incredible, and these shoot really good too. So I highly recommend, you know, if you're a beginner starting out and you want to do soft plastics, these are the way to go. They'll save you a ton of money, and they shoot really well. Like I said, the only difference is the time thing. So, but you can buy, you know, 4 of those to the price of 1 aluminum and make, you know, 4 times the amount of baits. You just got to wait a little bit longer for them to come out. So it's one of those things where if you got the money, go ahead and get aluminum. But if you don't have, and you want to ball on a budget, that's the way to ball on a budget. Just get those. They're incredible. Okay, guys, so we are back. These should be cooled down now. They absolutely are. I'm going to take these out of here. Set them off to the side. I don't know if you guys can see that over there. I hope you can. These are the mud flippers. Just make sure that they come off of the metal. They come off perfect. Okay. Blue craw. Okay, mud flippers. So awesome to fish. And then here is the one I really wanted to see how these came out. Was the motor oil. Man, those are cool. Just love that changeable. So neat. Okay, here's my blue craw grass piece jigs painted. Incredible. Came out great. Everything filled in the way I wanted it to. Paint smoothed out the way I wanted it to. Still see the design, still feel the design. That's what I wanted. And these are a little bit thicker paints too. This blue craw, and it's actually not blue craw, it's magic craw, but it's still technically a blue craw. So those and these motor oil changeable paints, they tend to be a little on the thicker side. This one really in particular, because it is a very, very thick paint. So maybe not perfect for a fluid bed, but it did work. And I did have to do a little bit of extra work to get these to work right. Now this one's got a little bit of a glob behind the eye that I'm going to have to try to work around when I put the eyeballs on, but this one filled out perfectly. Look, filled out perfectly. So I probably, when I tried to fix the eye cavity there, it just got a little bit too much in there. So no big deal. I will take care of that when I put the eyeballs on. We're probably going to do that in the next video. This one's probably gone on long enough. All right, so we're going to wrap this thing up finally. So what do my thoughts on the fluid bed? Incredible fluid bed. I got 2 different colors I tried. I tried the Novastone Chameleon motor oil paint in one of the cavities here, and then I tried the ProTech Magic Craw or Blue Craw in the blue. And I gotta say, it made a little bit of a mess. I'm just still cleaning up a little bit of it here, but absolutely incredible. I love the design of these cups. He did a great job, way better than the 3D printed ones that I had previously done in previous videos. But I really wanted you guys to see these. This is a really, really cool product. Relatively inexpensive. Again, 3D printed. You got a little spot for tools. You can put tools here if you want to. And I may do that here eventually. This is going to be permanently on my shop bench from now on, because I'm going to use this probably religiously. The one thing I'm going to do though is order more cups. And I've got TJ Tackle filter media, so if I want to change out, I can. But I'm going to get a whole bunch of more cups, probably some, I don't know if he does black. I'll have to see what colors he offers, but I'm sure he'll do whatever I want to do. But awesome. Go check out NGraves. He's a super nice guy. He will definitely get you taken care of, and he makes some great products. Like I said, some really cool soft plastic injectable molds made out of high heat resin work really well. We talked about that earlier, but awesome fluid bed system. Great. I love it. So definitely highly recommend that. He has the single individual ones. If you don't have enough room for the 3 or don't want the 3, you can just go get 3 individual ones. I mean, he's got those too. And like I said, they're pretty inexpensive. We did a couple of the new B8N Grass Jigs in the motor oil color, and these came out phenomenal. I love it. Now I'm gonna have to pick out some jig skirt colors. We will do that on the next video, part 3. And these are the blue craw, the magic craw. I keep saying blue craw because really they are blue craw, but blue magic craw. Magic craw is a fantastic color. We did a couple of those in the grass piece, or the grass jigs, the B8N Grass Jigs. And then I'm also going to and I also did some of these mud flippers. I mean, you guys have seen me make these before. These are the ones that, same thing, Lazy Bait Co. helped me design all of these baits. The grass jig, the B8N Grass Jig, and the mud flippers are of his, you know, I may have laid it out and kind of designed the head itself, but this tail was definitely designed by him, and he let me roll with a lead mold, silicone lead mold with these. So really, really awesome. Super happy the way these came out, and kudos to my man Anthony. So again, these came out great. The grass jigs came out great. The fluid bed that we showed in this video came out awesome. And again, Barlow's. Go to Barlow's, guys. Get some stuff. I will link that again below. My code is B8N Tackle, all one word, all uppercase. Go use that code. Again, it won't save you money, but it helps support the channel, please. So I think that's going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. We will come back and do a third part on the grass jigs, the B8N Grass Jigs, and we will do, we'll put on the blades on the top of the jig, and we will also do the jig skirts. I figure that would be a good breakup and make it so that the videos aren't as lengthy. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, remember to keep on baiting.